Alright guys, let's get started. It's the 14th of November. You're watching Crypto Corner, your crypto radar for all the latest news, reviews, market analysis and tutorials that help you master the crypto markets. Well, today the markets are actually looking better than over the last few days. We are starting a small recovery, I would say, a much needed recovery. Bitcoin is again at 16,700 as we speak. Ethereum is back at over 1,200. We did drop below these figures over the last few days. The weekend, as you know, the weekend is never really a strong time to trade. Many traders are not doing weekend trades and stuff like that, so there is very low liquidity. On top of that, many people moved a lot of their coins out of the exchanges and into cold storage or other wallets. I was also propagating for that. I posted a few times on my Twitter and in my Facebook groups and everything. So if you're following me on social media, you already know that I recommend that during these kind of times of turmoil, move your coins to a cold storage hardware wallet preferably, or it could even be something like MetaMask or Trust Wallet. I actually moved a lot of my coins to Trust Wallet, and I'm not surprised that today the top performer in fact is Trust Token, the token of Trust Wallet. It is 40% up in just 24 hours because so many people actually were moving their coins to that particular wallet. So it actually is doing really well today. KuCoin exchange, their token is also doing quite well because KuCoin was another one of the exchanges that were thrown in the mix of rumors of, you know, who's going to be the next. And Huobi was there as well. Huobi's token was suffering deeply over the last few days. As you can see on the weekly, it is almost 40% down. Today it is recovering as well. Crypto.com was another exchange that was rumored that is going down, and the CRO token is 13% up today because of it took quite a beating as well. It is 40% as well down on the weekly. And the OKX was another exchange that was also rumored. And these were all just speculation. There was no real reason for these particular exchanges to be thrown in the mix. It was very random, guys. I mean, with Crypto.com, it was partially because it was one of the exchanges that was advertising during the Super Bowl. And as you know, the Super Bowl ads are usually the most hype ads. It's the most expensive ad space in the world throughout the whole year. And we've seen that before with the .com bubble. You know, those websites, those domains that were advertised during the Super Bowl were actually the domains that collapsed very soon after that. So people were speculating that all the top exchanges, all the companies actually that advertised during the Super Bowl, crypto companies, are now going to be going bust, and Coinbase was another one. And Coinbase is a public company. I mean, I don't really see it happening, but what I'm saying is it's run in a different way. With FTX, it was really down to the incompetence and you know, just the crooked nature of that owner, of that founder, the top person, Sam Bankman-Fried. So you can really argue that it was his fault, and that it was really down to him, his mistakes that made all of this happen, that made all of this possible. Whether it was intentional or just mismanagement and ignorance, we can speculate on that. I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of all of this. But in any case, I don't really see every exchange falling down because of that. Not every exchange is run like that. And people were talking even about Binance. Of course, there is a little bit of animosity right now that CZ indirectly or maybe even directly caused the demise of FTX by revealing that they had struggles and stuff like that, by deciding to actually sell all of the FTT tokens that they were holding. But I mean, they were holding, I'm not sure exactly what was the figure, but I think it was more than $1 billion worth of FTT tokens, if not even $2 billion worth or something like that. So him deciding to safeguard his customers' funds by not doing something stupid and leaving it sitting in a token that could actually collapse, I wouldn't blame him for that. Maybe he should not have been so public about it, but when they moved these tokens into their Binance wallet, that was immediately reported on Twitter by one of the bots that is monitoring these kind of well stats, you know, one of the bots that is monitoring movements of big amounts of crypto. So as this got reported, he actually had to make a public statement. So we can argue whether he did it the right way or the wrong way, but this is where we are right now. Now, the good part is that usually this kind of fund occurs for a week and then it subsides. Many people were saying that, oh, this is only the beginning. Now we're going to see a further collapse. Everything is doom and gloom. So many exchanges are going to collapse. What is next? Is Tether going to collapse as well? I think we're going to avoid that. That kind of scenario, which is a possibility, I think is not the most likely scenario. I think we're going to avoid that. And I'm quite happy to see this, bounce today on the market. Of course, I don't expect this to be long-lived. I don't think this is, immediately bottoming out and we are starting now the recovery and everything. I personally feel that we are still going to drop lower and, on the daily, Bitcoin right now is looking a little bit better than it was looking a few days ago, but still, this is kind of a short term. I mean, the daily is looking fine. We do have here the stochastic RSI starting to go upwards and printing a bullish cross. Simple RSI is also coming out of the oversold region, and the MACDs are kind of going towards bottoming here and starting perhaps to curve on the upside. So all of these are signs that a bounce on the upside is to be expected. However, we do have a resistance here. Our first resistance is at 17,100, and then we have another resistance in the upper 17,000s, closer to the 18,000s. So I personally feel that we're not going to be able to break these resistances. If we manage to break the first one, definitely the second is going to prove to be quite a tough cookie to break. So I'm not expecting us to be going, much higher. Also, this is the 4-hour chart. We have to be aware of this descending triangle that we are forming. This is a bearish formation. So this is in the shorter term here, meaning that we might actually drop a little bit lower first before we actually start a proper recovery. Typically, this type of formation is predicting this kind of a move on the downside. And if you are not familiar with chart patterns, I do have a free ebook that I posted. The link is in the description below. I have all of these, the most common chart patterns are all explained in there. I'm explaining this one, why this is a bearish chart pattern. So you can grab a copy with the link in the description. These patterns don't always have to play this way. Sometimes they don't, but this is usually what happens. So we have to be aware of that. In the macro though, the macro is still looking good. I was quite surprised that during this dump over the last week, we did not actually go to our trending support line. This is our long-term trending support line. Diagonal trending support. We managed to break it very briefly here at the start of the pandemic in 2020. And as you can see, it was just weeks. So it was a very brief breaking of this trend line. So far, we have been respecting this trend line. As we started the correction and as we even dropped over the last week, we did not break this trend line. So what I'm expecting is that we are still coming down here. Perhaps most likely to me is that we will come to test this trend line. We will come to at least touch it. And if we touch it very soon, this trend line is sitting at 14,800. This is another reason why I've been saying all along, 14,000 for me is a very strong support. I don't really see us going to the 12K or 10K. There are possibilities. I have drawn them here. I have 12,800 and also 10,100 as support lines here as possible lower support regions. And I've based this even on previous key levels here that used to be resistance levels, and we got rejected from these levels previously, and then after that, of course, we managed to break above these levels, turning them into support. So definitely we do have the support here at 12 and 10,000. Many people are still calling for Bitcoin to go to these levels. I maintain that most likely we're going to find quite a decent support at around 14K if we are to go down there. For the moment, 15,000 is proving to be quite a good support. But of course, we've already tested it a couple of times over the last week. And the more we come to test this support, the more likelihood is that we will break it. So we'll see if we start going down again, if we start getting closer to the lower 1600 and, breaking into the 15,900, we could actually break this support. And once it's broken, then 14K is very easy. It's going to be pretty much a free fall. So we'll see how it goes, but for the moment we are definitely enjoying this small recovery of the market that we're seeing today, and we're starting the week with that kind of recovery, so this is a good sign. But yet again, the worst is not yet over. We can still see Bitcoin dropping lower than the 15,000 region, going to the 14K, and many people are counting on it though. And this is another thing. Now, there are two factors that are playing into today's bounce. Actually, there are a few factors that are playing into today's bounce. Well, first of all, crypto trading firm Cumberland Draw explained how the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX really impacted the structure of the crypto market. This is what they said. Beneath the chaos and explosive volumes, the FTX bankruptcy has triggered some important market structure changes. For some time now, the various functions of crypto spot trading have been trending towards a model of all-in-one platform centralization. Liquidity, clearing, settlement, custody, and even lending were coalescing under a very limited number of roofs. A similar trend was taking shape in the crypto derivatives market, where the providers of leverage were one and the same as the providers of liquidity. And while it's still too early to predict, crypto market structure now seems likely to mirror FX, a world where assets and capital aren't parked on centralized exchanges. Instead, digital assets will reside in countless silos around the world, and the functions of custody, lending, settlement, clearing, and most importantly, liquidity will be offered by an array of intermediary nodes and providers in an interconnected but non-interdependent web. Over-the-counter trading is the lifeblood of spot FX liquidity and will only become more important for crypto going forward. After all, currencies are bearer assets, and so is crypto. Thus, they say in 2023 we expect to see the emergence of a variety of regulated entities who will become the trustworthy providers of various well-defined market services. Each will carve out their niche and partner with a network of other providers to offer a full-service stack to end users. Much like banks around the world currently aggregate over-the-counter FX liquidity. FX, by the way, stands for foreign exchange. It's not anything to do with FTX in particularly. Much like banks around the world currently aggregate OTC FX liquidity into their settlement mechanisms and offer options for leverage, custody, etc. to clients. Centralized exchanges had every incentive to push the all-in-one model. In hindsight, some of those incentives were perverse. FTX was happy to offer 20x leverage because doing so increased the probability that a user would be force liquidated by Alameda, their market maker, at an unattractive price. Ultimately, markets involve trust, and the events of last week damaged trust in the crypto industry. Thus said, FTX insolvency absolutely must be differentiated from the liability of blockchain technology. And they conclude that these industry-defining events are usually the predecessors of market recovery. And this is very true. A market recovery is exactly what we're going to see from now on. Today, it already started. Now, another factor, I said that there are quite a few factors that play into today's recovery of the market. Another factor is this tweet by CZ. He's basically proposing a sort of a backup plan here to reduce further the cascading negative effects of FTX, he says. Binance is forming an industry recovery fund to help projects who are otherwise strong but in a liquidity crisis. More details to come soon. In the meantime, please contact Binance Labs if you think you qualify. So this is good because I'm expecting that there will be exchanges that will be in dire need of that kind of a backup plan and a recovery fund. And not every exchange is actually having this sort of thing, because for many exchanges, as I said, sometimes there is just incompetency involved or ignorance. Some exchanges are run by people who might have been traders in the past or something else that made them go in that direction, but they're not necessarily experienced with how an exchange really needs to be operating. And Binance has proven to be one of the top exchanges for so many years now. So they really know a thing or two on how to run successfully this type of a business. So I'm pretty sure that they can actually help the industry. And I'm not saying that they're not also doing some shady business behind the scenes. I'm not saying that they're not profiting from the demise of FTX, who was one of the biggest competitors. But also, I don't believe that Binance is doing all of these things maliciously. They're not stupid. They don't really, they're not going to profit from this industry collapsing either. So of course they're going to do something to save it. On another note, as you know, BitGet Exchange is one of the partners of this channel. So over the last few days, I've been speaking to them, and I've been trying to clear, what exactly is their stance on this, and where do they stand in the midst of all of this mayhem. And they issued a few statements here about transparency, about their proof of reserves, and also their own protection fund. So these are all things that have been released already on their main website. You can find this and make sure that you check them out, because BitGet Exchange is not at the threat of a collapse. It's not one of those exchanges that are at the threat of a collapse. And this is very important for me going forward, because I need to know that our partners and the sponsors of this channel are in fact in good standing. And I will give you more details on this over the next few episodes and everything. But first, a quick reminder why I selected BitGet. One of our partners is BitGet, a crypto exchange I use a lot right now to trade with zero fees. Yes, you heard that right. Spot trading with zero fees, welcome bonuses and rewards for well over $4,000, and no KYC for up to 20 Bitcoin daily withdrawal. It was launched in late 2018, and it's one of the world's leading cryptocurrency exchanges with a core focus on social trading. They already amassed over 2 million active users in more than 50 countries around the world, and they have licenses in the US and Canada. They also offer step-by-step tutorials for novice traders and the very popular copy trading service, where you can follow experienced traders and copy their trades on autopilot if you're not very confident in your own trading skills. I dropped my invite link in the description below for you. Make sure that you use it to register and get the welcome bonus, as well as their affiliate program, through which you can earn more than $3,000 bonus. They pay you 30% commissions on every trade your friends make, so this can be an additional passive income stream. And that's not all. Aside from spot markets, BitGet also offers futures trading, a launchpad for newly listed IEOs, interest-bearing accounts to maximize profits on your crypto holdings, yield farming through their launch pool, and much more. They just announced a huge partnership with Messi on his last year of the World Cup. This is quite a big deal, not only for football or soccer fans around the world, but it also places them in the top crypto brands right now, making it a serious competitor amongst all of the crypto exchanges in the world. Yet another reason why I'm very proud to have them as a worthy partner of this channel and one of our top supporters, along with Ledger, Keystone, Token Metrics, and many other major crypto players who've been supporting our community throughout the years. Sign up today with the invite link in the description of this video. Alright, now moving on to the next factor that plays a major role in today's recovery of the market is this tweet as well. Elon Musk, yet again, it was just a response tweet, but still everyone is talking about this tweet. And even though we all knew he's saying Bitcoin will make it, but it might be a long winter. I mean, is that news really? We all know, everyone in this space, everyone who is watching this video right now already knows that Bitcoin will make it. If you don't know it, then I've got news for you. Bitcoin is always going to make it. There is no way, there is no scenario in the world where Bitcoin is going to zero. Literally no scenario, unless the world collapses altogether. Like many people are saying, well, but it is digital, so it's based on electricity. What if we have a major, the electricity in the world is down, like, wars and stuff like that? Well, in that case, the world is fucked. I mean, we're all fucked, right? So even if you have gold or whatever you want to have at that point, you're still not going to make it. If we come to the point where we don't have electricity in the world, that's pretty much the end of it. So that's not really a concern for me. That's the only scenario where Bitcoin goes to zero, is if there is no electricity to even power your computer and run a node and run the network. So if the network is not going to be run, yes, it can go to zero. But that is the only scenario, and that is an Armageddon scenario. That is when actually everyone is dying or something. It's not a scenario where we just, go to zero and everything else goes on. But anyway, this is the tweet now that is also contributing to the recovery of the market today. In fact, just as I'm speaking, we've already jumped above the 17,000. 17,100 we are right now. So very soon we're going to find our resistance. Very soon we're going to find the rejection. Let's see how far we go. So we managed to break the 17K. This is good. I do have a 17,800 resistance on Bitcoin. Let's see if we go there. I'm personally not taking a trade right now because this is still a very volatile time. We could just as well drop below 17,000 in a matter of minutes. And we can even go to 17,800 and tomorrow we can be at 16,800 again, because it is an uncertain time. Another factor, the last one that I want to add here, another factor that plays a role into this mini pump that we're having in Bitcoin and crypto altogether is also the low liquidity on exchanges. As I said, many people took out their funds out of exchanges into their cold wallets and other wallets, whatever, into their own self-custodial wallets. And now there is very low liquidity. So it's very easy now. If there is even a little bit of an appetite for Bitcoin and people start buying, it's very easy to push the price up and up very quickly because there's not that much that people are holding on the exchange to sell. And that is why we have a low liquidity. And with low liquidity, the price can easily very quickly go up, but it can also very quickly go down. We are open to manipulators as well. Market manipulators, the speculators of the market are now having a ball. So be very careful right now. For me, we are in a no trade zone. I want to see exactly where we're going to get rejected from. And I'm going to be I'm going to be reactionary here now. I will be reacting to what the market is doing. I'm not trying to enter the market and catch a wave. I'm actually wanting to see where that wave is going. I want to see a confirmation for that wave. And I'm going to take action according to that. So I will be reacting here. And I'm waiting for the moment. I'm sitting on the sidelines. Even if we go to 18,000, I will be waiting for the dip before I enter again. I'm not entering on the way up. And as I'm not exiting on the way down, if I didn't exit already, I would be exiting now on the way up. I'm not entering on the way up. This is just what I would do. Of course, this is not financial advice. It's not an investment advice. I'm just reacting to what is happening right now, giving you my thoughts. And last thing I want to announce before I leave you, Keystone, one of the top wallets. This is an air-gapped device, one of my best wallets called Cold Storage. They're going to have a special sale starting for Black Friday, but I'm trying to negotiate with them an extra percentage discount for you. So very soon I'm going to announce, and I'm going to have a link as well, what the deal is. Possibly by the end of this week, we're going to agree on what exactly is going to be the discount offered for you guys specifically, because they will have a Black Friday sale, but we're going to have an extra discount. So make sure that you check this out. This is definitely the best hardware wallet that you can get right now on the market, and I'm using it for all of my long-term storage. I'm also using a few other hardware devices like Ledger and SecuX and Trezor I'm using as well, and I also have Trust Wallet and MetaMask, and I moved all of my coins out of exchanges into all of these wallets. Of course, I used Trust Wallet a lot because it's easier, it's on my mobile phone, but this is just for short term. Of course, long term goes into my hardware wallets, and Keystone is my top one. So definitely watch out for that discount. It's probably going to be from next week, but by the end of this week, I'm going to try and announce it so that you know about it. This is everything from me, guys. Thanks for staying until the end of the video. Don't worry, things are going to get fine. Even if they get worse for a little bit, even if we drop again below 15K, we are going to recover. Stay strong. Make sure that you leave comments. Let me know what are your thoughts. Do you think we're going to recover fast, or do you think we're going to have another year of a bear market before we recover? I'm going to let you know what I think in my next episode. I will be talking about this. Make sure you're subscribed as well, and also check out the links in the description below, where I drop the links to all of the crypto services that I'm personally using and that I recommend to you. And while you're here, just pick another one of my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.